Hello, I'm Sarah from Sutton Schoolswork. Welcome to our Assemblies Online. Now, each week we're going to be bringing you a Bible story, a thought about what it means for Christians, a question or two for you to think about, and a fun activity for you to do as well. So are you sitting comfortably? Well, let's begin. This week we are thinking about... Hello. Hello. I love your outfit. Thanks. I'm a superhero. So I can see. Do you like superheroes? I wonder how many superheroes you can think of. Superheroes are awesome because we have special powers. So let's play a game. Can you guess a superhero by hearing what their superpowers are? This superhero can shoot webs, crawl and leap across buildings. Who is he? It was Spider-Man. This superhero can stretch as far as the eye can see. She is a master at hand-to-hand combat and an expert spy. Who is she? It's Elastigirl. This superhero can fly. He has superhuman strength, X-ray vision and cold breath. Who is he? It's Superman. It's true, superheroes are great, but you don't have to be a superhero in order to do great things. But I am no ordinary superhero. I can man. I can man? Yes, I can man. I have a very special superpower. The power of positivity and determination. The power of not giving up. The power of saying, I can. Well, that's a great superpower to have. I know. And you know what? It's a superpower we can all have. That's true. And you don't have to be a superhero in order to have it. No, you don't. In fact, there's a story in the Bible about a man named Gideon. God chose Gideon to save the people from their enemies. Like a superhero would? Yes, just like a superhero would. But Gideon wasn't a superhero. He was just an ordinary man. Let's hear the story.
After God's people moved into their new land, many enemies came to fight them. God chose a man named Gideon to lead his people. God said to Gideon, "You will help save my people." Now there was nothing particularly special about Gideon. He was just a normal man. And he did what God asked him to do. Gideon gathered an army, a huge army, an army of 32,000 men. The men were all set to fight. But then God told Gideon that his army was too big, that if they won with all of those men, they might think they'd done it by themselves without God's help. So he told Gideon to tell anyone who was frightened to go home. So Gideon did, and he was left with only 10,000 men. They were all set to fight again, but then God said there were still too many men. He told Gideon to send them down to the river to drink. Anyone who didn't cup their hands to drink was to go home. So Gideon did as God had asked. He was left with only 300 men. Gideon divided the men into 3 groups, and each man carried a torch, a jar, and a trumpet. At midnight, they all crept to the edge of the enemy camp. When Gideon gave the signal, They all blew their trumpets, smashed their jars, and waved their torches. They shouted, "For God and for Gideon!
For God and for Gideon!
For
God and for Gideon!"
This scared the enemies so much that they ran away. God's people had won without even fighting. Gideon knew it was God who had saved them.
Gideon was asked to do a really big task. He was asked to beat all of his enemies with only 300 men. Now Gideon was just an ordinary man, and he could have said, "No, I can't do that. It's not possible." But he trusted in God. So he said, "Yes, with God's help, I can do this." And he did. Sometimes we might tell ourselves that we can't do something, or maybe others would say that we'd be no good at it. But we don't have to be superheroes or have special powers for God to use us in powerful ways. Gideon did great things because he believed in God and trusted him. Christians believe that God is so powerful that he can do anything. We can always ask God for help and know that he will always help us. Now it's time to get thinking. We've got 3 questions for you. After each one, why don't you pause the video, have a think about your answer, maybe write it down, or if there's someone with you, have a chat with them about what you think. Have you ever thought that you were no good at something or couldn't possibly do it? What was it? Can you think of a time when you didn't give up, you kept trying, and then you achieved your goal? What or who do you find helps you to keep going when you're finding something hard? So we've got an activity for you. You can have a go at creating your very own superhero. We've provided a link to an outline you can use, or you can just draw your own superhero. Have a think. What are your superheroes' superpowers? What are they going to wear? Do they have accessories? And then give your superhero a name. And finally, here is a challenge for you. Is there something that you are finding a little bit difficult that you could have another go at this week? I hope you enjoyed our assembly. Thank you for joining us today. We'll see you again next week. Bye!